classes in the last 5 years. That's 13,500 potential seats for students. Faculty and support staff have lost their jobs. Fees here at Valley have almost tripled. That's the norm now. Our reality and our norm has become class lotteries, crowded classrooms, and a third or fourth year at what's supposed to be a 2-year institution. I myself have faced these problems. Each semester I have to enter class lotteries. Each semester I lose class lotteries. I've been able to get the classes that I need, so I'm here for a third year. I can't catch up because we've lost our summer sessions. I can't catch up because our winter session has been severely reduced. Proposition 30 is the first step in saving public higher education. And I'm not the only one in this situation. There are many students like me who can't get the opportunities that they need and have lost years in their lives where they could be working, they could be pushing the economy of California forward because they have an education. And we can't. We're losing years in our lives because we can't move forward. And that's the situation now, right in this moment.
And if Proposition 30 does not pass, then the situation will become much worse. The previous cuts that were mentioned have had a dramatic impact to our school, our district, and overall to California. And with more possible cuts on the horizon, it appears at this moment that the future of education for us all will diminish even further. If Proposition 30 fails, Valley will lose $4 million. If Proposition 30 fails, Valley will have a loss of 200 classes by the upcoming spring semester. If Proposition 30 fails, there won't be any summer or winter sessions. If Proposition 30 fails, additional cuts to services like tutoring and counseling will take place. And let's not forget the rising cost of tuition. As a student here at Valley College, I know firsthand how the budget cuts have slowed down forward progression. I've been here for 4 years, and I was hoping to transfer much sooner. I know what it's like to be a part of a class lottery and not getting enrolled into it. As a result of that, I've had to wait for the math class that I am now just taking. As a math student, I know how important it is to have available resources like tutoring around. Without services like tutoring, additional help will be very hard to afford. The rising cost of tuition alone has been a strain to me and my family. These reasons are why Proposition 30 has such great significance to me, my peers, and even to those who are still waiting for their chance to attend classes here. With help from this proposition, I know that we as students can once again take confident steps towards becoming productive working members in our society. But that's if Proposition 30 passes.
So we just heard a pretty big, impressive collection of very large numbers. Actually makes me really excited to see what's going to happen with those cups in a little bit. You know, I think I'd like to focus it more on what's actually going on here at Valley College. How many of you all in the audience have tried to register for a class and you weren't able to get in? Just by a show of hands. How many people are now here longer than you intended to be because winter session got canceled, summer session, fewer classes? How many of you have had to struggle with paying almost 3 times higher tuition than we had 3 years ago? Okay, these are the realities, right? I've been teaching here at Valley College for 4 years, and even though we've had a lot of discussion about how the state's spending too much, we know that in the last 3 years we've lost $20 billion as a state in public safety and public education. We're not spending too much. The problem is there's not enough revenue coming in. And we're seeing this impact in our schools. When I first started teaching here, my average class was about 15 or 20 students. Today, on the first day of class, I have more than 100 people trying to add my class, which means I have to do a class lottery. I got 50, 60 people trying to get in the class, and I can maybe accept 5 of them. Every semester, I have students in tears because they can't get the classes they need. I know students that are here 3, 4, 5 years when they wanted to be here too. I know people who are dropping out because they can't afford the higher tuition. And for the first time in my time here, I'm seeing some ray of hope. And that ray of hope is in Proposition 30. Proposition 30, despite everything that we've heard, is only a very modest tax increase on the wealthiest Californians who are already paying a lower income tax rate in this state than they have at any point in the last 20 years. We're talking a 1% increase on people making over $250,000 a year. 2% on any income over $300,000, and 3% on any income over $500,000. We're also talking about a very modest sales tax rate, a quarter of a penny. That means if you go and you buy a cheeseburger for $4, you're paying 1 cent extra for that burger. And what is that going to do for Valley College? It's going to mean we have a winter session this winter. It's going to mean we don't have to cut 200 classes out of the spring. It's going to mean there's more room in UCs and CSUs for all of you all who are trying to transfer. It's going to mean that we don't have to do more devastating cuts on tutoring, counseling, and all the other services that people need. These are going to be concrete, immediate effects that impact us right now. And, you know, I've seen the commercials on TV. People are saying, oh, how do you know this money is going to be spent on education? How do you know it's not just going to go into the government and disappear? Well, we'll have more time to talk about this, but we have guarantees written into the law, written into Prop 30 itself, that mandate that this money must be spent on education, cannot be spent on benefits and administrative costs. There's the state constitution, Proposition 98, which guarantees where this money is going to go. And we already know for the next school year, this money's been budgeted. The money has already been budgeted for education for the next school year. So really, there's a lot of big numbers out there, and I'm assuming the use of cups in the future to confuse us. But the issue is very simple. Small tax increases on people that can afford it to pay for the education that all of us need to graduate, to move on, to get jobs, to be productive members of the California economy. So I think the issue is fairly simple, and I'll just refer to all of you raising your hands as to whether or not you can get classes as an answer for how this will impact all of you. Thank you.